is Sarah. Welcome to the It is a Sarah podcast. Today it is Monday. No, it is not Monday. Today it is Tuesday, the 2nd of July 2024, and I am ready to share my crafty adventures from yesterday with you. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. And also, it's quite early in the morning and my voice is not really awake yet. I am, but I didn't talk a lot. I didn't have a warming up. I'm not as chatty as I normally are in the early morning, I guess. Yeah, so I will drink some water. Let me start with what I'm wearing. I had a hard time picking my outfit of the day this morning. The weather has changed. We had quite some summer weather last week, and today it is raining and it's cold. Not really cold, 16 degrees, 17, 18. A much better temperature for me. I can wear my rings again. When it's very hot outside, warm weather, I can't wear my rings because my hands get swollen and it's not feeling nice to wear rings then. But I miss them, so I'm happy they are back on my hands, at least for today. But the problem with picking my outfit was that it was quite chilly outside, but in the house it is still warm. There is some warmth left from last week, and I feel very warm quickly, overheated quickly. So wearing too much clothes inside doesn't make me happy. Wouldn't make me happy. So then I found this garment and I thought that's the perfect one for today because it is wool, so it's a little bit warm around my torso, but no sleeves, so there is air and I can cool down. Oh, especially when I do this. And I have my Mema cardigan close to me when I go outside. This is the Spencer Penelope. It's also a design from the Dutch designer Nienke, Landman, the same designer as from this. I will share more about that in a minute. The pattern is only available in Dutch. I saw some questions if she could make them in English, but I know she's very busy. She has a busy life, so I don't think she will make them in English, but every now and then I heard Dutch people or English-speaking people knitting a pattern from Norway or a Danish pattern. I think when you are an advanced knitter and you can use Google Translate, you will come quite far. I think the patterns are not very hard. I don't know, maybe you can try. She has an Etsy shop. But Spencer Penelope, this is actually my first version and I was not very happy with it. Especially because of my yarn choice. I made it in a superwash merino from Wool Addicts combined with a Long Yarns lace yarn. It was all gifted to me. I made it in the time I worked for Long Yarns, and it felt a bit too drapey and too soft. It was also a little bit too long to wear on my dresses. So I made a second version in Elefoslopi, which was much more fitting my wishes. And this was actually on a pile to give away to one of my friends because it was still a nice layer. And somehow, I don't know exactly how it happened, but last summer I put it on a colder summer day and I thought this is the perfect summer garment. And now I'm asking myself, why did I wanted to give this away? Because I really love it. It is pilly every now and then. I think I depilled it quite recently because it's looking very good right now. But because of the merino yarn, I can wear it close to skin. I'm wearing a camisole under it, but I don't even think that would be necessary. And it's quite drapey and it's a bit wider than I normally make my garments, but maybe I should make my summer garments a little bit more wider because I really love the feeling of it. When I'm feeling overheated and wearing quite tight garments, maybe that's not the best combination. So I was really happy. And also the dark color, I really love to wear dark colors, especially with this weather. I love to wear them always, but wearing very bright colors on such a gray, rainy day it's not matching for me. I can imagine that for a lot of people, it is actually the best idea to wear bright colors on such a gray and rainy day to uplift your mood. But my mood doesn't need to be uplifted because this is the perfect weather for me. So I can handle the dark colors. I always feel very good in dark colors, very confident and strong on my belly. That's the problem. That's a practical problem. Filming an episode before you have breakfast does cause some extra noise. I don't think you can hear it. I hope you can't hear it, but I can feel it and I can hear it. My stomach is calling me, I want oatmeal, I want oatmeal. Just a little patience, please. Yeah, so the perfect outfit for today. For example, the skirt. I loved to read all your comments on my skirt, as well as on YouTube as on Instagram. It was really hard jumping for me. But the cherry skirt I did wear yesterday, my songbird skirt, it would absolutely not make a match with the weather today. It feels way too summery for me. And that's because of the fabric, the print of the fabric and the color of the fabric. But I definitely would love to wear a longer skirt today. So I didn't. The bared legs are not a good match with this gray weather. That's what I was talking about yesterday. So I'm wearing my estuary skirt with a pair of leggings, black leggings. But I would prefer bare legs with a longer skirt, I guess. But I need one in darker colors to match the darker weather. So I need to sew another one. Fabric is on its way, I guess. Okay, I have a few things I want to share with you today, and I want to start with my cacti. Oh, aren't they cute? Really hard jumping. I love crocheting cacti. I actually always crochet them. You can knit them too, but I don't know. I started crocheting cacti in the time I couldn't knit yet, and I knitted one once, but I think I love the structure of the crochet stitch more for cacti than the knitted stitch. Although when you make a cacti in garter stitch, it can look very nice as well. I did it once. No, they are all crocheted. I crochet cacti for quite a while, and my problem is that I always give them away. So 2 years ago I thought, I want my own cacti collection too. I really love to have them in the house. I really love to have plants in the house. We have quite some, but I don't have the green fingers. I'm not a talented plant lady. I do give them water every week. That's in my routine, so I do that, but I'm not very interested in all the species and all the things. I just love the look of them. So I'm not really a plant lover. They just give my house a cozy finishing touch, I guess. And the crochet cacti, they are a nice addition, is that the word? To my plant collection in the house. So I have a few on standing on the piano. Those are for myself. I must confess, especially the tiny ones, every now and then I will pick a tiny one from my collection to give away. Crocheted cacti are the perfect presents for friends and family. But I really want a bigger cacti collection because it's making me happy. So when my husband accidentally broke my favorite coffee mug, and he did glue it together, and it is, my coffee stays in it, but when I was drinking coffee, I had a very strong glue taste, and I don't know if it's between my ears. That's how we say it in the Netherlands. When something is between your ears, it's not in reality. It's not in reality. You just think that it is the way it is. I don't know if it's between my ears or it is reality, but it doesn't matter actually. I was quite sure I won't drink coffee out of this mug again. But I wanted to do something special with it because it's my favorite coffee mug. And I crocheted a cacti. It's a cacti with some strings, a zigzag cactus. It is a real plant, a real cactus. I used my own pattern. It's not really a pattern. It's more of a description. You can find it on my blog. I used to post on my blog every now and then. I think it was before I made episodes. That was my way to share my crafty adventures. It is in Dutch and it is not active anymore. A few years ago I decided to quit my blog because it was too much extra work. But there's a lot of interesting, I think, information on it. So it's still in the air, and the link, you can find the link down below. And as I said, it is in Dutch, but Google Translate is your friend, I hope. So there is a description how to make this kind of cactus. There are 2 different strands, and I used this one. You make some chains and then you do 3 double crochets. I know the terms, the US and the UK terms, so I just do intuitive crochet terms, and I don't know which language they are from. So maybe it doesn't make sense what I'm saying to you, but then you know that I do intuitive English crochet terms. 3 double crochets and then some slip stitches in between make those little tiny strands, the bubbles. There's also a version when you make 3 double crochets in every stitch and then you get a spiral. They are also nice, but I want this one for this cactus. Yeah, and I made 5 shorter ones. I think 5 with 20 chains and 5 with 26 chains, and I attached them to my soil. This was a very nice suggestion to put some, we call it aluminium foil. I don't know, aluminium foil, the silver paper. No, it's not paper, the silver thing you use in the kitchen. I did a little bit at the bottom of my mug, and now it's staying where it belongs to stay, where it's supposed to stay. So I attached the strings and I started in the middle, and after that I added a few extra. Again, I did it intuitive. I just looked, oh, here I can make one here and I can make one here, and at some point I thought, okay, it's enough. Normally I would add some extra because I really like to have it filled, but I thought you can't see my mug if I make too many strings. So this is perfect. It's a very lovely zigzag cactus in my favorite coffee mug, and I'm very happy that I can put it on my piano. I have to clean my piano, but I can put it on my piano and I will enjoy my favorite mug. Still, even when it doesn't do what it was actually supposed to do. So that was hard jumping. I immediately made another cactus. This little, yeah, how do you call this? I don't have my laptop quite near me. In Dutch we say, yeah, pot, P-O-T. This little plant pot. Ja, plantenpotje. Potje. Little pot. Yeah, that's how we call it. It was standing in the rack above my desk at my bedroom. And I don't know actually why. I think I collect a lot of these tiny pots. And when I'm in a thrift shop, I always search for them. But also when I'm in the garden shop, I don't visit them both quite often, but when I'm in the garden shop, I also bring them with me. So I had quite a collection, but my youngest girl is a very fanatic cacti crocheter. So she used all my pots. So this was the last one, and I know why she didn't use this, because it's damaged. So I had this one for myself, and I actually thought there was a little bit of soil in it, crocheted soil, but it was only a yarn ball. So then I decided, let me make a cacti. I don't know the name for it. In Dutch we call it a bol cactus. Bol is the shape, a round cactus. Which you can put into the pot without any soil. So I made 20 chains, and then I did single crochets in every stitch, but not with a crochet stitch. You have the kind of a V shape, and you put your needle under both of the strengths, but I put it under one strength. So you get a little bit of relief, a little bit of a ridge at your fabric. And I love the look of that for a cactus, for crocheting a cactus. So I did that. And I just crocheted back and forth, doing it all the time until I had quite a big piece of fabric, crochet fabric, and I thought, okay, this must be enough. And then I crocheted the seams together, so then it was a cylinder piece of fabric. And then I did weave in a yarn thread. I have to drink my water. A yarn thread on top of the piece of fabric, and I pulled it together, and I tied it together very tight. And then I filled it with yarn scraps. I always save my yarn scraps to do this stuff, and they are in all the colors, and you can see them a little bit shine through, but that is not a problem for me, because I love, this is all made from scraps, and I love it that you can make such beautiful things of scraps. So it's good to be reminded of that. But of course you can fill it with, you have the fiber fill stuff, the synthetic stuff, but I don't like it. I prefer to fill my things with sheep wool. You can also have that as a fill when it's unspun. But my girl used it all up, so we are out of our stash for the sheep wool, but we have a lot of yarn scraps we can use for it too. So I did do that, and then I realized it was a little bit too small for this size of pot, so it disappeared almost. This was not there yet, you have to think this part away. So it was really low. I wanted more this way, but it was a little bit too small. So I decided to make soil anyway. So I did. And now it's this way. And I forgot to tell, I also did weave in my yarn at the bottom, of course, and tied it very tight together. And then I add a little detail. I will show you. I had some green lace yarn in my stash, and I attached a row of single crochet stitches around all the ridges, and it's a little bit darker green than the main color, but it gives it it's not very visible, but it just gives it a nice finishing touch. It's a little bit of the color, but also a little bit of the fuzz. I do this with white yarn too. You have those cacti with white ridges in real life, in reality, so also in crochet life, but it's just a little bit extra, a little bit of relief, a little bit of depth into the color, a little bit of fuzz. I love playing with that, and I just let it happen. I don't follow a pattern. I just decide while I'm making it what I want, and I have 2 baskets filled with cacti yarn in the right colors, and it's always really making me really happy. Every now and then I do follow a pattern. I have a Dutch cacti crochet book, but most of the time I play, and I really love to play. So I also played with the flower. It was a long time ago since I crocheted a flower, but it worked out pretty good. I can do it by hand. I didn't need a pattern. I chose for 5 petals. Leaves, flower leaves, petals. I think you call them petals, but I don't know why. And a little bit of yellow in the heart of the flower. I use my the ends of my yarn to sew it at the cacti. My youngest girl always used a glue gun. You call it a glue gun. It sounds quite aggressive, but with the hot glue, and she put it together. I don't like that thing. But it looks nice, and it's a little bit quicker, but you have to weave in your yarns anyway, so you can use it to attach it. That's also nice. So 2 new cacti, and I will put them on the piano, but I have to clean the piano because it's very dusty, and also we had some flowers and they lost some seeds, so it's also some stuff laying on the desk. Oh, it's really bad. I didn't do it for quite a while. Okay. One last thing. I also want to show you today oh no, I didn't talk about this one first. My Hildegard vest. I did some embroidery yesterday. Maybe you have seen it. I did try some things. I did play a little bit with it. The hand-dyed embroidery yarn is very beautiful. It's a combination of wool and silk, and it's very really thin lace weight. So I held it double, and normally I use DK woolly yarns to do my woolly tattoos, and I was a little bit doubting. The color was beautiful, and also the shininess, the shiny silk. But it was not forgivable. So I thought, is my embroidery looking too messy? And I tried one with the woolly yarns, but that was really, the color and the silk shine makes the embroidery very special. So yeah, I decided to keep it this way. And I was trying different things. I asked my kids for some advice. I never ask advice. It was quite funny because I was showing this to my son, and he said, and my eldest daughter already said that before a few weeks ago. I said, look, I finished this garment. And he said, you have so many brown garments. Is this a new one? I say, I have nothing like this in my wardrobe. But for them, it's all the same. That was quite surprising for me because there's nothing like this in my wardrobe, and I don't have so many brown things either, this color. So, but they are thinking I'm wearing brown things all the time. But all my kids advise to do only a few flowers and not to the bottom, and I think they are right. It's also that way in the original pattern. I only skipped one one cable in between because the original pattern is for bulky weight yarn, and I did knit it in DK weight yarn, so my cables are quite much closer to each other. So I have to do 3 little flowers today. I had time for that yesterday, but I was very tired, and then this is not something I had to do. It's quite a fun stitch. It's the stern. Was it stern or stem? I don't know. I will tell you more about it when I finish the garment. Maybe, I don't know. I have a busy day today. I really want to wear it tonight, but I don't know if that will work out. Now we shall see. I will tell you all the details when it's finished in one of my, I think, Wednesday or Thursday episodes. But today I will work on a pair of socks. I showed them before. These are the socks for my mother-in-law. My parents-in-law, they always, when they have 6 grandchildren, and every time one of their grandchildren finish a school level, graduate, or we have primary school, high school, and then you have several educations from several levels. Then you are ready, you finish your school. Of course, there are all the different, all the possibilities. But every time one of the grandchildren finishes something, they are invited to a trip with my grandparents. No, not my grandparents, but their grandparents, with my parents-in-law. So my son finished high school last year, and they brought him with them to Madrid. That was really nice. And I told my son, if you find a nice sock yarn, if you find a yarn shop and you can pick a sock yarn, I will knit you memory socks. And he said, Mom, that's very sweet, but I don't need hand knitted socks. I knitted one pair of socks once for him, and he said they have such a loose fit. And I explained him that was one of my first hand knitted pairs of socks, and now they are indeed quite loose because I had no idea about the gauge and how many stitches. And I said, I can make fitted socks for you right now. And he said, that's very sweet, but not necessary. I will do it anyway. It will be a Christmas present for him. but he didn't need socks. But my mother-in-law, she loves hand knitted socks. She can make them herself, but she's not enjoying the knitting a lot, so she quit knitting. She does more embroidery and stuff. But she picked a beautiful skein from La Bien-Aimée, the color Winter Garden. and it's a light color with all the bright speckles, so it's really nice. And when I was casting on this sock, I did try several stitch patterns, ribbed and all that, but nothing was really hard jumping to me. So in the end, I decided to just knit a plain sock. But what was happening, there was quite some leathering happening, and I know that is a thing when you knit magic loop, and I also know that you can avoid it, but I couldn't really remember that was a problem in my sock knitting life. But maybe I just don't knit plain socks quite often. I usually choose for a rib stitch. I don't know, but it was very visible. You can see it. It's very visible. It marks the spot where you go from the one of the needle to the other needle. This is the magic loop place. So when I finished the sock and I put it on my sock blocker, I thought, oh, this is so annoying. What should I do? Moet is Dutch. Wat moet ik doen? What should I do? What moet ik doen? And then I realized that maybe some drop stitch magic would be the best solution, and it was. It really gave the sock a nice finishing touch. I did a drop stitch cable solution. I showed it on my Hildegard vest last week, I guess. I will show it again today because that's on my to-do list today. And it's not a tutorial. I don't do tutorials, but just for some inspiration. What I did, I don't know if I already had knit the rib or not, but I dropped the stitches, and I always forgot you need at least 2 stitches for the dropped cable stitch, because it's looking at as one stitch. I always think it is one stitch, but that's not true. So I dropped 2 stitches, and there was a little problem at the heel, the shadow wrap short row heel, because the first stitch, you drop the first and the last stitch of every needle, so this one and this one, but the first stitch was involved in the shadow wrap short row heel, so it was a double stitch. And I am always troubling with double stitches. When I'm dropping a stitch or making a mistake, I can't fix a double stitch afterwards. My brain doesn't get that yet, so we are practicing. I have no problems with fixing cables or lace or plain knitting afterwards. That's absolutely not a problem, but the double stitch from the short rows, it is. So I was really messing it up. So as you can see, and maybe this one is even more bothering, there's quite a hole. It is not a big problem on a sock, because when you see your sock on a sock blocker, it can be very clear and visible, but of course it won't be when it's on someone's foot. So it doesn't bother me too much. I'm thinking of maybe closing the gap a little bit with a yarn end when I'm finished. But with this sock I thought, okay, skip the first stitch of the heel, don't involve them in the shadow wrap short row heel, just knit it as a normal stitch. So the problem will be not as big, I guess, with this sock. So I didn't knit the ribbing yet, because I will drop the stitches all the way down, and the dropped stitch cable is not involved in the border. So I will drop them down, and then I will pick them up as one stitch with my crochet hook, and when I'm back at the top I will divide them in 2 stitches again. So that's better for the knit 2 purl 2 at the end. Do you know what I'm trying to explain? That's the reason why I don't make tutorials and why I don't love to teach, because it is so hard to explain it in words. So I will show you that process, and yeah, maybe it gives you some inspiration. The dropped cable stitch is really my favorite thing at the moment. It gives such a nice detail, and you can hide all your mistakes. That's also nice, and it's so much fun to do. It looks a bit scary when you drop all the stitches, but it are only 2, and you can secure them quite easily. If you are afraid, you can secure the bottom stitch, so it won't drop any further. But I'm not afraid of that, so I won't do that. but it looks quite dramatic, dropping all those stitches and then picking them up. It's very satisfying to do. I always love it when in a project knitting and crochet are both involved. That's really, yeah, it's really heart jumping to me. So when I need a crochet hook in a knitting project or a knitting needles in a crochet project, that's perfect for me. It's really balanced. So I will do that today. Okay, I will bring you with me a little bit in my cleaning the piano and dropping the stitch. And I hope you will enjoy it, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.